Hello everybody, welcome to a new solo game starring Aevia, the Spider of Vase City. Now Aevia is a special unlocked character from the Kickstarter of Legends of Novus. So this is her first public attempt at becoming a Legend of Novus. And I say attempt because her skill set is a bit different than some of the other players. She has very little combat. She has difficulty using medium or heavy armor because that's not her forte, and she has a different way of gaining experience beyond just the normal methods. So what we're going to do is we're going to experiment with her today using the standard solo rules and just see how far we can get. Again, in the solo game, the idea is to try to win the game before 15 turns are up by defeating 3 quest creatures. Or finding 2 quest adventure cards and completing them in replacement of one of the quest creatures. But either way, the thing about Aevia is she has a special win condition that we're testing out. In hers is called Infamy. She can win the game if she earns 30 experience points, and she's not required to defeat quest creatures. So in a multiple player game, she would never have to defeat a Monsignius or a Jungle Worm. She just has to earn that 30 experience points. But she has a tougher time beating those bigger battles that traditionally give you more experience. Instead, she may have to earn it in different ways, such as exploring cities or finding ways to earn cards in other ways. The other thing new about this is these tokens that I have here. So this first one is the horseshoe token, and the horseshoe token is every player will get one of these at the beginning of the game, and it gives them one chance to override a roll of 1 on a d10. So a roll of 1 is traditionally a tragic fail in this game, but this horseshoe token, you can use it at any point in the game to re-roll a roll of 1, and then if you roll a 1 again, it's still a low value, but it won't be considered a tragic fail. So that's an important part, and another strategy movement for players is to decide if and when they're going to use that horseshoe. The second token that'll be included is a quest token. So one of the things players were concerned about when they saw how the game playtests is I mentioned that you'd flip or tip your token over. Not like that, but in reality you would tip it to the side. But some players thought that the standees might wear out over time. So instead what I decided to include in the game as a bonus is this quest token. So this quest token instead, and it'll be sized accordingly. It'll be sized to go underneath the player token if they're exploring. So that way you'll know if your player is explored or not without having to tip your token over. So that'll be included in the game as well. Players can use it if they wish. Don't use it if you don't want to. It's not an expensive component, but it is a useful component. Alright, so all that being said, let's get into this game. The way you start off is by starting at 10 money. We start with I already drew these, so 1 adventure card, 1 reward card, and our counter is set to 0 for our turn counter. Do I have one of those set up? No. Let me bring a turn counter in. Objects, components, tools, counter. Where did it go? Here we go. So this will be my turn counter to show what turn we're at in the game. Make that a little bit bigger. And here we're going to start off. So Aevia's power, if we read through it, she can't equip medium or heavy armor, shields, helmets, or two-handed weapons. So really restricted in a combat sense. She does have +2 movement, and she gains +1 to her escapes. So she has ability to travel far, fast, and can run away a little bit better. She can run away on a roll of 7 or 5 or higher instead of 6 or higher. If she explores a city location, she can discard a card to gain 1 experience. So if there's a card she owns in her hand that she doesn't want, she can discard it to gain 1 experience. Then if she gets to 30 experience, she wins the game. So what am I going to do this turn? Well, I'm going to explore a city location. So we'll flip her over, Now, when I explore a city location, I can discard one card. So I have to do that before I draw the card. I can't just draw a card and discard it. So I'd have to discard this quest for peace if I wanted to get an experience. And I think I'm going to do that. So instead of traveling all the way there to get 3 experience, I'm just going to discard it to gain 1 experience. Let's see if I can find the right angle here. We start at 3 experience in Legends of Novus, so I'm up to 4 now. And combat value is 0, plus shin guards is 1, plus experience will give me 1 more. There we go. Alright, so first turn I'm exploring. I get to draw the top card of the adventure deck. So we will draw that. That didn't work. And on my second action I can draw another adventure or draw a reward. I'm going to go with a reward this turn. Found some leather bracers, not bad. So then I'll go to my recovery phase. And I'm going to slap on these bracers and increase my combat value. And then we will take a look at this. That'll be useful in combat later. We're going to turn, so we're basically up to the end of turn 1. And we'll move on to turn 2. So you cannot explore in a location you've already explored. So we're going to flip over and have to go for a travel. But she can travel the furthest of any character. She can travel up to 4 steps. And she's a thief class, so she will get a bonus by going to Dinesk. So if we make our way there, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to roll the travel die. Oops. So we rolled an extra travel, so she can actually travel 1 more step or get 10 gold. We're going to move the extra step. Alright, so nothing happens on the journey, but when we get to Dinesk, you'll see here on the bottom right, the first time you visit this location, which we're at now, if you're a thief, you gain 2 experience and draw a reward card. So we were kind of lucky to get that far that fast. Normally it would have taken 1 more turn. So we will gain 2 experience and a reward card. Found ourselves some leather armor. So now we're safely in Dinesk. We're going to, in the recovery phase, equip this leather armor and boost up our combat value. And you can see I get plus 2 experience now for being at, or plus 2 combat for being at 6 experience. So we're actually going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 combat in total. So we'll take that. Alright, and that will be the end of turn 2. And there's nothing I want to sell. I want to keep this equipment. So we're just going to move that up to the end of turn 2. On to turn 3. So I could explore here in Dinesk. And I could discard my precise strike for an experience. But this is actually a really useful card. I might want to keep that in case I do have to fight. So instead I'm going to travel. I could travel or I could explore here, but 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what, we'll explore here. So we'll flip. I'm not going to discard a card, so I won't get a bonus experience, but I will draw the top card of the adventure deck. If it was a curse or an encounter, we'd have to deal with that, but it's not, so that just goes to my hand. And then I can choose either an adventure or a reward for my second card. So, I think I'm going to choose another adventure card this time around. That goes in my hand. So now I have a caravan and travel plans. Those are 2 cards that Aevia doesn't really need as much as anybody else because she can travel so far. So that's good news for later. Nothing else to do on this turn, so we're at the end of turn 3. Turn 4 begins. We'll flip over. I have to travel this turn. I can travel 1, And I'm not anywhere near powerful enough to go after one of these quest creatures yet, so I'm going to keep going. 2, 3, and 4 to the ridges of Kedar. We'll roll this travel die. We've got safe travels. So I'm going to move 1 extra and get to Braille. Now Braille doesn't do much for me. If we take a look at the city of Braille on the bottom right, first time I visit there, if I were a priest, I'd get that bonus, but I'm not a priest, so nothing happens. So effectively, I'm at the end of my turn, and really nothing to sell or do, so kind of uneventful, made it a nice travel across the continent. So now we're on to turn 5. I'm going to explore here, and I'm going to discard one of these cards to gain an experience, as per Aevia's ability. So we're done that part. Now I get to draw an adventure card, flip it over, nothing affects me right now, and then I get to draw a second card. This time I'm going to draw another reward card, why not? Flip it over, found ourselves some rare gems worth 50 ghouls, that's pretty decent. So we're safe in Braille still. At the end of my turn I can use this. I'm going to enchant my shin guards to give me 2 extra combat. You might wonder, I'm not really after combat, why would I want it? Well, there's times where I'm going to have to fight, so it doesn't hurt to be good at it. And I'm actually going to sell these rare gems for 50 gold. Alright. And that'll be the end of this turn. So end of turn 5. We move on to turn 6. At the beginning of my turn, I can purchase an adventure or a reward card for 25 gold and put it in my hand. And that's actually a cheaper way to make experience points than buying it straight out with gold. So I'm going to do that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And I'm going to purchase myself a reward card. So I found a Crown of Fate. That's actually a really good card also. So even though I could save it for discarding, I'm going to equip that Crown of Fate because I like that one. So what it does is if I would roll a die outside of combat, I can roll it twice and choose which roll. Really useful against quest creatures, but any creatures really. Alright, so we'll move on with my turn. I think we will move up to 1, 2, 3. We're going to move to Vase City. So we're going to roll this travel die. We have an encounter. So we're going to encounter Nature's Nemesis. This guy's big. So he's a 9 attack against my 7. I do have a chance of beating him. Magical items, armor, and weapons don't apply their bonus this battle. I am not wearing anything magical. I guess my enchanted item, I should say it turns at magical, but I'll have to include that in the ruling. And if I'm defeated, I must discard 2 cards from my hand, my choice. I'm going to chicken out this battle. I've got nothing to raise my combat, so before I even battle it, I'm going to try to escape. So to escape, I have to roll a 5 or higher. We have rolled a 10. Success. So a 10, I don't gain any experience for that, but I do escape. So I'm successfully made it to Vase City. In Vase City, at the end of my turn, I could sell something if I wanted to, but I'm going to choose not to. And so that'll be the end of turn 6. So I'm at the beginning of turn 7. I'm at a fraction of the experience I need to win the game, but that's okay. Sometimes it can get up there quite fast in the later turns. So at the beginning of this turn, I'm going to spend 5 more money, or 25 more money, bringing me to 10. I'm going to draw another adventure card. I found a curse. So if you draw a curse, regardless of how you got it, it immediately goes on your character. And, oh no, that's a remove curse card. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. So that's the card I bought. So now I go on to my actual turn. I'm going to explore Vase City. And on explore, I'm going to discard remove curse to gain an experience with her ability. And then I'm going to draw the adventure card I'm entitled to. I have drawn an encounter, so that goes to the discard. Instead of exploring, I have to face this encounter. It's a swarm of rats. Swarm of rats, I have to roll a die to represent how big they are, but because of this Crown of Fate, I get to roll twice, because it's not an actual combat roll. And I get to choose which roll. So I'm going to choose the 8, which means the swarm of rats has an 8 combat value. This is a big swarm of rats. And if they defeat me, I get cursed with a -1 combat. It's not terrible. So I'm going to actually fight this guy this turn. So he's going to get a +8. I'm going to get a +7. It's doable. So let's roll. We'll say that the rats are green and I am red. The rats have rolled a 1 and I have rolled a 1, which is a failure. I'm going to trigger my horseshoe and do it again. So now I have a 3 against a 1, so 8 plus 3 is 11 against 8 plus 1 is 9, so I've defeated the swarm of rats. Maybe not the best use of my luck, but that's okay. I will gain 1 experience. And then I will gain a reward card. So, draw this. I found a spell book. It doesn't do me a whole lot of good unless I turn into a wizard. Okay. So, successfully made it, or explore in Vase City. Could sell the spell book for 5, but I'm not going to. So we're at the end of turn 7. Now we're on to turn 8. I cannot stay here, so I'm going to flip over. I'm going to travel to Silverin and roll the travel die. We have another encounter, folks. Here we have a feral wolf. If I don't have a weapon, it gets +1. I do not have a weapon. I'm well armored, but not weaponed. So it's going to be a 4 attack. Not bad. I will fight this guy. So he rolled a 4. I rolled a tragic fail, and I don't have a horseshoe anymore, so the wolf has won. I'm going to suffer a -1 loss to my XP. Alright. But I made it to Silverin. Nothing happens to me there unless I'm an advanced class, so unfortunately that's the end of turn number 8. Alright. While I'm in Silverin, I'm going to explore. When I explore, I gain that experience back. Just trigger that. And when I explore, I'll draw the top card of the adventure deck. Not bad. And then I choose a second item to draw. I'm going to draw another adventure. Ooh, a quest for glory. To complete this quest, I must be in Silverin, which I am now, but I have to have a combat modifier of +12. I'm only at +7 right now. So, and you have to be an advanced class, which I'm not, so I don't have a hope of getting that anytime soon. But I did get a Master of Tales. If I complete a quest event or defeat a creature, I gain an additional experience. So that's not bad. I think I'm going to place that skill on me. So skill is kind of like equipment. It stays there permanently unless something has a way to get rid of it. But we'll keep that card for now. Okay, also when I explore, I already did that. I discarded, I'm supposed to discard a card. I'll discard the spell book to gain that experience. Okay. So I've drawn my 2 cards. That'll be the end of my turn. So I will be at the end of turn 9, starting turn 10. Moving on to turn 10. What are we going to do? Well, with a Crown of Fate and 7 attack, I have a chance of defeating Juragon because I have a precise strike. So I'm actually going to flip over and I'm going to make my way over to the jungles of Wakan. So I'm going to travel 1, 2, 3, but I'm going to go up to Nost because I still want to use my class ability. So I travel to Nost, I roll the travel die. We have another encounter. I've encountered a goblin. They have a stealthy strike, so I must roll my action die. But I get to roll twice because of my crown. I will choose the 4. It says here if I roll less than 6, the battle ends immediately, but I get to add my XP to the roll. So the only way I would have failed is if I was stuck with that 1. Thanks to the Crown of Fate, I'm not. So now I can go into combat. I'll roll this for me and this for him. So he has 2, and I have a total of 9, so I've defeated the goblin. When I defeat the goblin, I gain an experience. Good for me. And I gain 10 gold. 5, 10. So I'll put him in the discard pile. And so I successfully get to Nost. And if we look at Nost, that's right over... Where's my Nost? These will be alphabetized, of course. But Nost on the bottom right, at the end of your adventure phase, which I'm at now, if I'm in Nost, which I am, I can discard any number of adventure cards and gain 25 for each card. So an adventure card is cards that came from this deck, and you can tell by the blue back. I can discard any one of these cards for 25 gold each. So do I want to do that, knowing that they're worth an experience when I explore with them? I'll choose to discard the caravan and gain 25 gold. The reason I'm doing that is I don't really need the caravan, plus I can just buy a card on my next turn with that same money, so I'm not really losing a card. Okay, so I'm successfully in Nost. I'm at my recovery phase. During my recovery phase, there's nothing I want to do. At this point, I could make the decision to move to an advanced class. So Aevia has the luxury of sticking with being an informant the whole game, just like any other class. But her ability might actually want you to keep it, whereas the others generally become more powerful if they switch. So she could become anything with the thief class if she really wanted to switch from her profession right now as an informant from city to city. Instead, she could switch to an assassin, or she could switch to a ranger, or anything where the dual class thief is. But I'm going to stick my guns and stick with this card and see how we play out with this one. So we end turn 9, or end turn 10. At the beginning of my next turn, I'm going to take off 25 gold. And I'm going to purchase myself a reward card. We found an enchanted helmet. My apologies, this is the old art. It's still left in the deck, but it does the same thing. Now, if you look at her, she can't wear helmets. So this here is actually shields or 200 weapons. So a helmet on the new card, it's going to show that that is a helmet, obviously. So can't wear that, unfortunately. Alright, so we're still at the beginning of my turn. I'm going to explore in Nost. When I explore, I'm going to discard this Quest for Glory and gain an experience. Then I'm going to draw an adventure card. And I found some terrifying visions, so that makes me attempt to escape the first round of every battle. That is not cool, especially with her, because she can escape pretty easy. For my second card, I'm going to draw another adventure card. Alright, so we're at the end of my recovery, or we're on to my recovery phase in Nost. At the end of my adventure phase, I can discard this for 25 gold, which I will do. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, because I am still in Nost, and if you remember how that card read, it just says you don't have to explore to do this as long as you're at the end of your adventure phase. So the turn you get there, and if the turn you stay, you can activate the same ability. Alright, since I'm in a city, I could sell the helmet, but I'm going to choose not to. And then we'll end the turn. So we're at the beginning of turn 12. Turn 11 is over. I will spend 25 gold again, and I'm going to purchase a new adventure card. I keep going for adventure cards because I know there's certain cards in here that give you experience. Alright, so I've got a Master of Fates. I can slap that on, and that lets me draw 2 adventure cards and pick the one I want, so that lets me rifle through this even faster. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm going to flip over and I'm going to travel 1, 2, 3, 4 to the jungles of Wakan. I got to roll my travel die, and technically I can roll this twice. So I have either the travel icon or the adventure icon, because the Crown of Fate lets me roll twice. So I'm going to choose the adventure icon. I get to look at both of these, and I will be picking one, and the other one goes on the bottom of the deck. So I can pick an encounter or risky rewards. I am going to go with risky rewards and put this on the bottom of the deck. And the reason I'm choosing that is if I fought the encounter, I'd have to run away anyway. And risky rewards is a good card to have when you can manipulate dice. So that was my travel. I'm safe in the jungles of Wakan. Nothing happens there till next turn if I explore. So I go to my end step, or my recovery phase. I choose not to do anything, and then I will go to my next turn. So at the beginning of my next turn, I can actually play risky rewards. I'm going to do that because this is a cool card, and I have to roll a d10. If the result is a 1 or 2, I lose XP. Otherwise I get 4 rewards, but I get to roll 2 dice. Both of them are a 2. Unfortunately, I have sabotaged myself. This is a very risky card, and you just saw the repercussions of that. So it's not about dumb luck, it's because I chose to take the risk. And that dumb luck is actually going to reduce my XP down to 7. So it really sucks to be me. So it says, if the result is 1 or 2, I lose 4 XP. Otherwise, I gain 4 rewards and go to my recovery phase. So I don't have to go to my recovery phase, but I did lose my thing. So you play this event at the start of your adventure phase only. So I still get to decide what I want to do on my adventure phase. So I am going to I'm going to battle Juragon. So I'm going to flip over and explore to battle him. Juragon comes to fight me, but first thing he's going to do is try to swallow me. And when he tries to swallow me, I have to roll the action die, and if I have less than 15, he's going to swallow me and spit me out somewhere else on the map. But remember, I have this Master of I have the Crown of Fate. So let's see what I'm going to roll. I get to add 7 to my roll. So I get to pick the 6 or the 10. I'm going to pick the 10. 10 plus 7 is 17, so I'm over 15, so he doesn't swallow me. So now we go into combat. Now combat with quest creatures is the best of 3 rounds. So I'm going to fight him 3 times. He's going to get plus 12. I, on the other hand, only get plus 7. So the difference is 5. Green will be Juragon, red will be me. So he has a 3, I have a 3. Now, if I want to win this tie, I'm going to play this Precise Strike. It says for the rest of the turn, which means the next round of combat as well, and the round after that, I will get plus 5. So that brings me, instead of plus 7 combat, I'm going to get plus 12. And so we're tied, and I win ties. So round 1 goes to me. Now we roll again for round 2 of battle. I have a 10 and it has a 7, but I get 5 bonus, so I'm still ahead of him. So I've defeated Juragon, the Jungle Worm. So I'll put him near my character sheet, and I'm going to gain 3 experience. So yay, back up to 10. Not only that though, I will gain 2 reward cards. So I may not have successfully beat my risky rewards, but I did take down Juragon, so becoming a legend in my own right. Alright. This is considered light armor, so I'm still allowed to use this armor. I think in their redo of this card, I think it's going to become medium armor, but for now it's light, so I guess I can cheat and wear it. It'll give me +2 combat instead of +1 combat. Oh, I already had +2 anyway. Whoops. Let's put that back up there. Because I'm a thief, I get +1 combat in addition to the regular +1. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that on then. So that will bring me to the end of my turn. Nothing I can do there, so I will turn this up. So turn 12 has come to an end. Definitely not on the path to become a Legend of Novus, but we'll continue the journey. So I'm going to flip over. I'm going to travel. 1, 2. I'm going to travel to Asa. So I'm going to roll the travel die. And I have rolled free travels, but I'm just going to take the extra 10 money instead. And I get to Asa. Nothing happens to me there because I am not a wizard. But what I will do is... no, I won't do anything else. So I go on to my next turn. Turn 13 comes to an end. I'm going to spend to draw a adventure card, but when I draw an adventure card, I can draw 2. Experience of War or an encounter. Experience of War doesn't exist in single-player games. Back alley deal doesn't exist in single-player games. Banishment does. So I'm going to take the banishment and put the encounter on the bottom of the deck. One thing I forgot to do was attempt to escape the first round of every battle, so I cheated the system against Uragan there. Let's see what would have happened. I could have rolled 2 dice and chosen 1. So 5 or 6. I probably would have ran away, not intentionally, but because forcefully I would have had to. So I apologize for that oversight, but we're going to keep the game going as is. Alright, so I purchased myself a card. Now I can move on to my regular turn. Oh, when I defeat a quest creature, I gain an additional experience, so let's tack that on. Okay. What does Aevia want to do now? Well, we've got +8 combat, actually +9 combat now, because my experience is back in a good zone. So if we add this up real quick, I'd have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, +3 is 11. Or sorry, 6 + 3 is 9, so yeah, I'm at the right combat now. Okay. So I'm going to travel. No, I'm going to explore Asa, and I'm going to get rid of this helmet to gain 1 XP. And then, because I'm exploring, I draw a card, Divine Intervention, and I will draw another adventure card. An encounter. If it's the second card you drew, you don't have to play the adventure, or you can't. So there we go. Go to my end step. Not going to sell anything. So I go to the end of turn 14. On to turn 15. My last chance to be a Legend of Novus. Not going to happen. So travel 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to travel up to Exire. Roll the travel die. We are facing an encounter. Ooh, the Stone Sentinel. Non-magical weapons and armor don't apply their combat bonus, which really hurts me. I lose 2, I'm going to lose 3, so I only have a +6 against this guy's +8. So he's definitely got the better of me, and I have to try to run away anyway. So we roll these. I could pick the 4 and not run away, but I'm going to actually choose to run away this time. So Nothing happens there. I run away. I make it to Exire. I'm not a fighter class, so I don't get a bonus there. So we'll go to my end step. Turn 15 is over. Now my only hope is to become a hero of Novus instead of a legend. I'm going to explore here. I can discard a card. I will discard this one to gain that experience. Then I will draw the top card of the adventure deck, but I get to draw 2 because I'm a Master of Fate. I could have an encounter or a Gladiator's Arena. I'm going to take the Gladiator's Arena. No, because I have to run away anyway. So we'll take the encounter. I have to face the encounter. I'm going to fight against a Diving Griffin. I have to try to run away. I can take the 4 or the 8. I'm going to take the 4 so that I don't run away. And then I'm going to battle the Diving Griffin. Diving Griffin says if I roll a 5 or less, my turn ends immediately. So I rolled a 10, so I don't run away immediately. Now we go to combat. I will take I rolled a 6, the enemy rolled a 2. I have a higher combat value, so I defeat the Griffin. And I get to gain 2 experience, 1, 2, and get 2 reward cards. Thank you, Griffin. Alright, I am in a city location, so I could sell if I wanted to, but I'm going to equip this Ring of Awareness. What this says is if I gain experience at any point in my turn, I gain an additional experience at the end of my turn. So I'm going to gain that experience. I can finally equip a weapon. It's a bladed weapon, but it's not a heavy two-handed weapon, so I'll get +1 in combat. Good. And let's sell this treasure to get 25 gold. I'm just going to use that at the beginning of my next turn anyway, so I'll go to the beginning of my next turn. I'm going to use that to draw an adventure. I get to draw 2 as my Master of Fates. I am not going to take the Mind-Racking Whale. So I get Stolen Stories, which doesn't apply in a single-player game. Alright. Get a large treasure again. Woohoo! Alright. Where am I? Oh, there. Okay. So now it's the beginning of my turn. Oh, I paid for that. Now I can choose to travel. I can see if I have a hope of beating Asmakai. Asmakai is a 23 combat. And if you look, I have a card called Banishment that gives me +10 when I battle Asmakai. So I'd effectively be at 20 attack to his 23. That would be a tough battle to win. But it's possible. But I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to travel down 1, roll the travel die. I have an encounter that I have to try to escape from. Okay, try to escape. It doesn't matter which one I take, I fail the escape, so now I get to fight it. And again, remember, I'm trying to escape because I have to. Alright, so now we fight it. Oxen gets 14. I get 4 + 10 is 14, so I defeat the Oxen and gain 2 experience. And because I gain an experience this turn, I gain 1 more experience. Nice. But it doesn't give me anything else, so 1 dead Oxen. If we look, I'm at 19 experience. I should actually get 1 more combat bonus now. Should have gotten that a little bit ago. And then at the end of my turn, nothing I want to do. So to start my next turn, turn that up a notch. I might have missed a turn there. Got excited. Either way, I'm going to travel this turn Roll the travel die. I can roll it twice, I forgot about that. I'm going to take the second roll and get a free reward. And then I'm going to continue with my turn. Gauntlets of Power. That's a nice weapon to have, and I'm allowed to have it because it's not armor, it's a magical item. So that's going to give me +2 combat. Apologize for the old style of card, I have to replace that. And so I traveled there, I can't explore there this turn. There's nothing I want to sell. So I will use up that to gain 25, but I'm going to use it at the beginning of my next turn anyway. I did not gain any experience, so this turn comes to an end. On the start of my next turn, I spend that 25 gold and get an adventure card. I can take a hunting lance or large treasure. I'm going to take the hunting lance and discard the large treasure over on the bottom of the deck. And then I will explore Exire. So I get to draw another adventure card. It's an encounter, but because I explored, I can discard a card. I'm going to discard that for an experience. Now I must face this encounter. I must try to run away from it. So I can take a 2 or a 2. Yay, I don't escape. And if you're wondering how could I get rid of a curse, by the way, at any time I could have traveled down to Braille and paid 25 gold to get rid of a curse, or I could travel further to Aura's altar and destroy all curses in play. So there are ways around it beyond the remove curse that you saw me get rid of earlier in the game. Okay, so I escaped. I have to fight this orc. I should be able to defeat it. I've gained some dastardly skills. Yep, orc is defeated. Gained 2 experience and 1 reward card and 10 experience or 10 gold. Goodbye, orc. I found myself a Mask of the Mindful, usable by thieves and wizards only. Gives you a combat bonus, and you can lose experience to draw cards, and you have no maximum hand size. So that one doesn't fit well with my character theme, but cool card anyway. So that all happened when I explored. I go to my recovery phase. I could sell both of these to get 25 gold. So let's do that. Sell both of those for 25 gold. Okay. I'm just going to keep the money for now. That turn ends. End of turn 18. Turn 19, I'm going to travel north. Roll this die twice. So I could have an encounter or an encounter. I guess I'm facing an encounter. I have to face a thief. First he gets his ability to backstab me. I'm going to take the 9. Again, I'm still using this Crown of Fate for double rolls. Really useful card. Now I have to try to escape. I'm going to take the 2 so I don't escape. Then I'm going to battle him. Enemy has a 9 plus 4 is 13. I have a 10 plus 13 is 23. So I learned how to outwit the assassin. Aevia herself could be an assassin, but she's not really keen on killing people. She's more keen on stealing and swindling. But regardless, this guy is defeated. I get 2 experience, and I get 10 gold, and I get 2 reward cards. So thieves are loaded with goodies. Or assassins are loaded with goodies, I should say. Found myself a dagger and a Demon's Bane sword, which I cannot use because it's two-handed, and Aevia can't use two-handed weapons. Okay, and the dagger would actually do more damage for her because she's more proficient with a dagger. She actually gets +1 for being a thief. So during my end step, I can take off the short sword, equip the dagger, and go up 1 in combat. I'm safely at the demonic temple, but nothing happens there this turn. if you're wondering why I can wear an extra weapon, this one lets me have an additional hand item. And so does this one. Okay. How did all that happen? Oh, I traveled. So I gained experience this turn, so I gained one more experience. Alright, and that's the end of turn 19. So we're on turn 20. I need to gain 5 experience before the end of the turn to still be a hero of Novus. It just so happens that Asmakai is worth 6 experience. Why do I need to gain 5? Because normally you'd only need 25 and defeat 3 quest creatures to win a solo game, but Aevia, I stuck with her original card, which is going to let her win the game if she's at 30, no matter how many quest creatures she defeated. So you can see it still took her a while to build up that experience. She's not winning by a landslide by any means, but definitely on the path to becoming a hero. So Asmakai comes into play. First thing I have to do against Asmakai is try to run away before the Mind Crusher because of my darn curse. So try to run away. I'll take the 4 so I don't run away. Then I'm going to roll the Mind Crusher, still using my Crown of Fate. Roll these dice. I can take the 10 and add my 25 for a total of 35, which means he does not Mind Crush me. If he did, I'd have to discard all the cards in my hand and try to run away again. So really hard to fight him in the early game because chances are he's going to Mind Crush you. Now we go into the real combat. So I'm going to activate Banishment. I don't have to activate it now, but I'm going to anyway. And get plus 10 against the battle against Asmakai. So instead of plus 14, actually 15 attack. If you take a look at my combat, I have 0 plus my experience is 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, 15 combat. So instead of 15, I'm going to have plus 25 to his plus 23. And so essentially I get an extra 2 on my roll. So he's going to be green, I'm going to be red. First round of combat. I get a 4, he gets a 4, so effectively I beat him in the first round of combat. Aevia really knows how to hit. Roll again. He gets an 8, I get a 7. He beat me, or I beat him by a margin of 1, so I've defeated Asmakai against better odds. So I will move myself up to 31 points at the end of turn, or during turn 20. Or the end of turn 20, and I would have earned 1 extra experience because I gained XP that turn. So now I am officially a hero of Novus. The game comes to an end because I've met my personal win condition. Currently she's the only card that has a unique win condition. So again, that's going without any special combat bonus from the informant, and not being able to equip a multitude of weapons or armor. So she found a way around it by doing lots of exploring in cities, finding lots of cards, and still defeating a couple quest creatures, but not all of them. So congratulations, Aevia, you have done it. Curious what you think of her abilities, if you feel that they're overpowered based on what you've seen in other gameplay scenarios. If you have any thoughts on what could be done differently, by all means let me know. Because before the game actually gets produced, I want to have a chance to play test her a few more times, and I've got a couple other people that are going to give her a try as well. Again, she is a bonus character to the game, and she won't be included in any post-Kickstarter versions, keeping in mind that I'm producing 1,000 versions for the Kickstarter, so you may still see those in some retail stores until they sell out, and then that Kickstarter version will be gone completely. Alright, thank you for watching this Legends of Novus solo playthrough for the first time, featuring Aevia, the Spider of Vase City.